What's up, fellow collectors? Welcome to the second episode of C3 Coffee, Cards, and Conversation with the recurring theme then, now, and forever. Then, I want to talk about PSA, how I got to PSA, my first cards, I graded with PSA, and my love hate relationship with PSA. Now, I got my small mail day today and pickups, and forever, how my mail day and pickups fit into my collection for the future. So let's get into it. So in episode 1, I told you how long I've been collecting, how I started collecting. And let me move this coffee in. And like I said, the first person I collected was MJ. The first cards I started grading were MJ, and that was with PSA. And in this segment, I want to talk about PSA, and I'm going to do my, hate-love relationship with PSA. And why I chose PSA. Because I tried a few, like I said, I bought this tag just to see what I liked about tag. It was way too small. I didn't like the text. Everything else was cool, but I didn't like the text, and I didn't care for this piece here. That was just it. I sent to SGC, which I thought this was beautiful. But then again, the text, how it's not small and it's not centered this way. I didn't really care for that. But the rest of it I really liked. And I'm actually starting with the light because I said I was going to start with the hate, but I'm starting with the light. So when I got the first PSA slab, this is what I liked. This looks so clean, so structured, and I like that about PSA. The other thing that I like about PSA is the registry. I like being able to put these cards on my phone, and when I'm not here, admiring my collection, or I want to talk about it, with other people, I can pull up my phone and show them what I have. I like that. Another thing that I like, the slab. The slab is just very durable. I've seen other videos where people did tests on the slabs, and PSA was definitely one of the better ones. So I got lucky on that. So, actually, these two cards were some of the in the first batch of wrestling cards that I graded. Now I want to go into the hate portion of PSA, which is minimal and is average for everybody. So I love PSA more than I hate them. So the upcharges I definitely hate. This card here, for instance, 101 on a J, I got upcharged 100. I think it was $159. So 101, the card's never been sold or anything. So how do they get how much I owe them off of that? So I just never liked upcharges. I pay you for a service, which is to grade my cards, and you give me an upfront price, and I think you should stick to that upfront price. Don't be adding on costs based upon what you think the card will sell for. I'm not selling it. Why would? Just to me, it just doesn't make sense. The other thing about it is the inconsistency of their grading. I've done several videos where I've had my cards reviewed from Indie Card Exchange. I review them and come back and PSA gives it a 6. I just don't understand it, but I wish it would be a little bit better. And another thing that I don't like, and this might be a conspiracy, but the gatekeeping. I do believe they gatekeep their grades. I get back some of my grades and everything will be a 9. And I'm like, how is everything a 9? There were some 10s in there. I've had them reviewed by, a third party, which is Indie Card Exchange. But yet, I'll send in 10 cards and all 10 will come back 9s. I don't like that. And the turnaround times, especially now. But how long it takes just to get your cards back is ridiculous. But that's my slight rant on PSA. I did support the no PSA in May, which didn't do anything, I don't think. But like I said, I wasn't going to grade until something happened, and I just sent in a submission. So we'll see how that turns out. But let's get into the next segment, which will be the now. All right, now we have the mail day portion of the segments. And I know every card that's in here. Let's put this down here. I know every card. I don't know. Well, I have an idea what's in each package because when I got them in, I just kind of labeled what I thought was in this package here. So, yeah, I do believe I know everything that's in here. So let's just rip into it. I kind of like the way this package here is here. You just pull it open. Makes it so simple. Yeah. This person here, this here should be my Naomi that I have for my collection. Let's see, make sure this is it. Yep. So this is the Naomi. It's a tie-dye. I got this off eBay. And I paid $10.69 for this card here, which was a steal. Looks like there's other cards in here with it. Yeah, it was definitely a steal, and I needed this to fit in my collection, which I will show a little bit later. See if I can get into this card here real quick. Since it's a short mail day, I can rip in here now. I think, okay, this card is back here. Okay, another Naomi. I don't know what that one is. The regular Topps. I don't know. I could probably hold on to that one. But sometimes you get cards in. Like I got in a couple of cards that had scratches everywhere. If you're going to put the tape on, bend up and in to make it easier to pull off. Just a FYI. Painter's tape is good, but you can't get up under it. You always got to rip it up here, and then you can damage the card. So pull up, like fold it over, a tad bit of the end is folded over like so, and then do that. That way you can just grab it and pull it off. So let's get into this card here. There's a sleeve on it. Yeah, there's a sleeve, but it wasn't past the card, so I got to do it that way. Let's pull this out because I need to put in a new sleeve anyway and inspect it. Yeah, this card looks fairly good. So 14 of 25. There's a little dimple right there, but I can't blame them for that. And a print line going across the back, which I can't blame them for that either. All right, so like I said, that card was a steal, so I'm pretty pleased with that one. So the next one I have here, I labeled the green Pulsar. It's the same type package here. While I'm doing that, let me take a sip of coffee real quick. Oh, delicious. Yeah. Fresh brewed coffee beans with some tea infused into it with the hibiscus. Love it. Okay, this here is the green Pulsar, Isla, and I purchased this for $4.61. 13 of 25. This card was definitely a steal, so this goes into this will go into my set fairly nice. I'm not a Isla collector per se, but I do collect the green Pulsars. And I've been grading my green Pulsars so the best that I can. And I won't be grading too much until the bulk submissions come back. Okay, this card looks great. Yeah, I like the way that card, that's nice and clean. Okay. Next card in the mail. I know what this one is. Now, these are safe, but these are hard to get into, except when you cut them. So here we go. Bunch of cards wrapped around it. What is the... Oh, to keep the flap down. Okay, that's good. Right there, I don't mind that one. Because I can still get in here and still get into the tape that way. So just kept it so this wouldn't fly open. But I ordered wrestling cards. Why do you send me baseball cards? And just a bunch of crap that I had to get rid of. It's useless for me. But here we go. This is Daniel Bryan. This here is going to definitely fit into my collection very well. And I will discuss this a little later. That piece of tape wasn't so bad because it was a bigger piece of tape. The other one just, I guess, was bad because it was so small. Everybody knows what that means. Trying to get a card out of the sleeve. Let's see. Try to pull that up out there easily on the sides. Yeah, that was packed in there tightly. Okay, let's look at this Daniel Bryan here. I think I'm going to do on my mail days less cards because I can go through them more. Yeah, that looks fairly clean on that one. I've had like cards come back just real badly damaged and they didn't disclose it, so I'm just trying to look at them. I have no complaints with any of those cards that I have right there. Okay, so the last card that I have is a purchase. So sorry, mail days and pickups. So this here I just picked up yesterday. I went into my LCS and he said, I got a card for you. I'm like, okay, I might be a buyer. Well, turns out I was definitely a buyer. So he put this aside for me. This is the 26 Topps Chrome Let's Go Rhea Ripley. He wanted $400 for it, but you see he gave it to me for $375. Yep, and there's my receipt to prove it. This here will go into my collection very nicely, and we'll see why later. So that is the now portion, our now segment, and then let's get into the forever. All right, the forever, and how Daniel Bryan fits into my collection. So this here is out of my 2020 set. Brings me one step closer to complete it. So now I need Adam Cole. I do have Lacey Evans in a parallel, but I need the base. Lacey Evans and Samoa Joe. So I only need 3 to complete the base set. And that is going to fit very nicely into my collection. Why am I recording upside down? All right. So now how the Isla fits into my collection is simple. Is that I've always been collecting the green Pulsars. So let's see. Yeah, I've been collecting green Pulsars. So eventually, I want to try to have them all. But until that happens, I've just been picking up what I can at good prices. I want to do them all in PSA 9 or 10. I do have a few 8s, but I got quite a few 10s in that too. So that's how that will fit into this collection that I've accumulated. Okay, next, I want to discuss how Naomi fits into my collection, which is pretty simple. I think this might have come up in my last episode, but I am putting together a rainbow. There are 27 cards in all. That card makes the 25th of this rainbow collection that I've been putting together of Naomi. So it will definitely go well into my collection. Like I said, I'm doing Naomi and I'm doing LA Knight rainbows out of that 24 select. I do have the superfractors, which you won't see in here because these are all the ones that I have ungraded. I do have the few of them that are graded. But that is how Naomi fits into my collection. Newsflash, I just had an epiphany. Only need 2 more cards to finish this rainbow. I want to hopefully I can get it done. So I need the green flash prizm, which is the 10, and the lucky envelope, which is to 8. They've been wanting way too much money for a lot of them that I've seen. So I paid for the mojo around $70, which I'm good to pay that for the lucky envelope. Gold flash, and it's a bit tricky because I paid various different prices for a gold. So between 170 is somewhere where I want to be at. So hopefully I can find them around that price. But that's what's going to hold me up. And wish me luck on that. Okay, last but not least is how the Rhea Ripley Let's Go fits into my collection. So I'm building a master set, a somewhat master set of the 26 Topps Chrome. And there are a bunch of inserts in it, but there's some like these lowercase hits that it's just real hard to get. So I wanted to get at least one out of each. So here's the signals. I got the Sheamus, and then the Gamut and the Liv. Then I have several of the House of Cards, but I do have the Rhea, Jacob Fatu, my girl Bianca, Drew McIntyre in the House of Cards. I have one of the Helix at least, which is the Roman Reigns, which is probably going to go out for grading. And I do have the Garbage Pail Kids, one Garbage Pail Kids, which is Rhea. That is going out. That's already shipped out for grading, so I should get that back whenever. And then at least one of the Let's Go. And I do have somewhere lost in the shuffle here. I have a buyback of Jey Uso, and I could not find it for the life of me, but I put it away in something and don't know where it is. But that is how the Rhea Ripley fits, and later on it'll fit into this. So the stack of graded, because I am going to grade it, so I have a little mini collection of Rhea. That's part of my green Pulsars too. So yeah, so that is how Rhea fits into my collection, and that is going to finish up the forever portion. So if you made it this far, just want to say thank you. And thanks for supporting, my journey and watching my videos. And I do want to mention, I still want to give away the 2 cards for my 100th subscriber. which is a Stephanie Vakir auto, and the green to 99. I've been thinking about what I wanted to do, and I think I want to make it 2 questions that are going to be embedded into these videos. So one of the questions that I want to ask is, my favorite parallels are the ones that are numbered to 25. And the reason that's significant, don't matter, it could be the green Pulsar, it could be the oranges, or the Mojos. I selected the 25 parallel because that is my birthday. That is the reason why I like the parallels with 25. So when I do my giveaway, that'll be a question that I want people to answer. So if you watch the end of this video, you know the answer already. So again, thanks for watching. Episode 3 for more cards, more coffee, and more conversation. Then, now, and forever. Later.